Greetings and welcome to Matrix Unlocked presentation 45. I thought I had more to say than I actually managed to say on the previous video because the phone cut out for some unexpected reason. But it's funny how we have this duality to things. Now, on the one hand, we're told that we are one, and there's all this talk of this one world government, which I've suggested is already in place anyway. You've only got to look at the Antarctic Treaty, the fact that there is no lineup of nuclear weapons across the Bering Straits, which is about 60 miles. United States and Russia are supposed to be bitterly opposed ideologies. It's all an illusion and just a bit of theatre, of course. But if I'm given a form to fill in, now bear in mind that I speak English, I use Bank of England banknotes, but if I put English down as nationality, no, I've got to put British for some reason. So maybe I should go to one of these genealogy sites and do that DNA test, and it will tell me I've got so much percent of blood and I come from this area or that area, and therefore I can lay claim to it. So just hypothetically say it's Syria and Italy and the Ukraine. Well, therefore I could then say, well look, that is my ancestral roots, but are they going to let me travel there? They can't have it both ways, but they want it both ways. Any job you go for in the UK, every company is now an equal opportunities employer. And then, of course, they want to know your ethnicity. So which is it? They want us to be one human race, or they want us to define ourselves by categories? Well, I'm sorry, I don't fit in the boxes of any of these. When it comes to nationality, I will just put Homo Pangean, just to confuse them. If they want me to sign anything, they require a signature, so I will give them a sign of nature, and I will draw a tree of life. Apparently I am does not qualify as a name either for some reason, but I am who I am. If they want me to confirm my identity, I'm going to ask them, can I have a mirror or a reflection in a window so I can have a look and say, yeah, that's definitely me. Because I don't support any of this. Now, in the previous video, I explained how Christmas is still a mass, and it's a black mass. And some people will find this very perplexing, that I can then turn round and say, look at this character of Jesus and what he was doing, and he was breaking the law. See, I don't fit into these boundaries and parameters that are given to us. There is an element of truth in all these things, and you will find this with the official narrative we're given by them about the founding fathers. They turned round and said, we are not paying the taxes. We do not agree with your system. And this is all we have to do. You don't have to fight fire with fire and take to the streets and start getting violent. It just needs civil unrest. Now I've got a classic case here. Got this, it's not made out to me because my name is not on the bill. From Virgin Media, who want £124. Well, I'm sorry Virgin Media, but you broke the contract. You did not fulfill your side of the contract in supplying an internet connection that was stable. It was very erratic, and 4 times I had to get through. So this is what you do when you get these bills. I deal with the living, I don't deal with the dead. This is stationary, therefore it is dead. It is not moving, it is not living. So all you do, you put a couple of labels over the window, and you put this wording on the thing. You put, return to sender. I do not recognize you. I do not understand your intent. I do not have an international treaty with you. No assured value, no liability. and you put it back in the post box. And if they want to carry this on further, then I'm quite happy to do it. The person concerned, or the legal fiction that bill is addressed to, I will quite happily take the birth certificate down, the legal fiction, if it comes to a court case, and say, there you go, I'm the representative of this. Now what do you want to say? And I will try and tell the piece of paper, the certificate, what it is they're charged with, and they can deal with it that way. But I'm not going to tell them my identity, I'm just their representative. And this is what we need to start doing. I am instigating disobedience here, and I'm proud to say that. And I wish I could get every motorist in the UK alone to all say, we are not obeying traffic lights any longer. That is not to say that we have this aggressive, self-centered ego driving on the roads. What I am suggesting that we have a filter system, because we drive in the left on the UK, do exactly the same as the roundabouts. You give way to the right, but you take it in turns one for one. And you also allow for other road users, cyclists and pedestrians. If even a quarter of every motorist in the UK was to go through the traffic lights and disobey the signals and operate like this, this is going to cause an enormous problem for this legal system, the legal eagle, because it is legalese in the courts. They trap you with all this by trying to get you to adopt this straw man. If you don't know what a straw man is, I would suggest that you look on YouTube and look at get familiar with maritime law, because you too can walk above the waters when you rise above the maritime law and realise that it's just a trick. Because where is all this taking place? In courts. Well, what is courts? Is it not a crystal? So therefore they have corrupted and turned the meaning of that word into the opposite, the negative. And you'll be facing someone who is a judge who will expect you to place your hand on a particular book. And does it not say in that book about there is only God can judge? But of course it has a sheepskin headpiece, because it is a wolf in sheep's clothing. And I still would like any judge to tell me the difference between what is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Surely the truth is the truth. But it's founded on a book that is hardly the truth. It is a version, a King James version normally. And I'm a bit adverse to such a ridiculous conflict anyway. By its own words, and the logic destroys itself. So that could be very interesting. And if this vessel is going to, if they want to put this vessel in the dock, then I'm going to be demanding more. And I will end up dismissing the case, because they do not have authority or power over me. I do not recognise their authority. And this is what people need to do. Stop being scared and actually stand together. Yes, one or two of us, or I say one or two of us, a small percentage of us they may try and make an example of. But what if more and more people all start standing together and standing as one? Because all the signs have always been there about being sovereign to yourself and standing together as one at the same time. See, we can have a duality, we can be one, and we can also be individual as well. And collectively, we are far stronger. This was shown in the Disney Pixar Bug's Life. Ants pick the food, ants keep the food, not the parasites that just come and steal it and rule by fear and terror. That film is showing it right there. The ant that was smart enough to think out the box, the rest of the ants thought he was crazy. But look how that story ends. That ant was right all along. And there's not just one ant these days. We're all at various stages, certainly those that are listening to this channel, I should imagine, and many other channels, either on the spiritual and the truth-seeking side, are all speaking a truth. It may not be exactly the same truth, but it is all about asking questions and understanding and having an understanding that there is far more to what we really are than what we are told. So there's a couple of ideas for a start, and just look at the duality in things. Look at the Golden Fleece, the Yellow Vest riots. 24 miles separates the UK from France, and I cannot verify if any of that is genuine. Some of that footage seems to be from the World Cup, and I've also noticed how those yellow vests all look to be uniform and identical. Now, a lot of people can go out and buy these high visibility vests from various outlets, whether it be eBay or DIY stores even, I understand, sell them, and they will be manufactured by different companies, so there will be slight differences, but when you actually look closely at these photos, you'll find that they seem to be very uniform, probably ordered all in one go. And look at the pattern. It is always the small businesses that are being attacked, the businesses that cannot recover from having their shops smashed up, because obviously the insurance company will say, oh, we're not going to cover that anymore, so who's going to cover the costs? So without the small businesses in the way, where are you now going to get your shopping? From the corporate, which was the plan all along. It's all going towards centralisation, but it's always good cop, bad cop. Always keep this in mind with all these things, and do not go out there hating anybody, spreading negative energy, but also keep in mind the balance with the logic. Don't let others feed off your energy as well, because there is an awful lot of people, and I use the term very loosely, that will try and feed off your energy, and they are so stuck in this three-dimensional material world of trivia, and they are not seeing the bigger picture, and some of them I don't think will, but that is their choice. We can only offer them an olive branch, and try and get people to become aware. Just plant seeds, that's all we can do. But it is a case, as Jamie Lee on A Plain Truth for You channel says, find your tribe, people, and stand together. This is what it's all about. We have a common enemy, so why is there no community, no commonality between us? Because we fall for the divide and conquer tactics. And we have been fallen. We're being fooled all the time, over and over again. And until humanity wakes up to this, well, it is going completely the wrong way. But the numbers are growing. There are more and more people seeing little things and starting to question things, that things don't add up. And this collective consciousness, this is the true cloud, not the Google cloud that is just purely data. This is at a soul level, this is feeling, because this is where it all starts, when you have a feeling that something is wrong with this world. And then it leads on from there. Don't be under any illusion that it's going to be a nice journey, because you're wading through some absolute shit, especially if you start looking at the unpleasant side. But it's as well to be aware of what you're up against and the enemy that we're up against. So it is a necessary journey to go through. I didn't want to do any of this. I never envisaged doing any of this, but it's just the way it's happened, and I just relay the things I see that are wrong, and hopefully I will try and put it into words that make sense to other people, because this is a lot of it is the confusion. When people don't see the bigger picture and see how the different bits fit together, and I'm not saying I have all the pieces of the puzzle, it's collective amongst many channels. And I want to give a big shout out to Jon Levi. I don't know if it was just sync thoughts, because I forgot to send him the link when I made the video on Alcatraz and Landguard Fort at Felixstowe, and I did ask if somebody else who can do far better presentations than I can do could do one on Star Forts, and today Jon Levi has done just that. I'll put the link in the description for this one, about that one. That is amazing, and it also does maybe answer the question of why Cuba has always been sort of kept as like a no-go area. When you start seeing these Star Forts, and they seem to be far more intact than many other places, and they do seem to be connected with water. Certainly worth at least looking at and then asking those logical questions to yourself. Make your own mind up from the presentations of all these things, because we're not doing this for money. Okay, some people are using the Patreon, and good on them if it helps supplement your income, if you need to do that. I'm not knocking that, I'm not criticising that. The important thing is spreading the message out, because sharing is caring. So please don't shoot the messengers. So peace and love, and ta-ta for now. And this whole concept of Tartaria, I would suggest that Atlantis is Tar land, the land of Tartaria. Again, play on words with these things, but make your own mind up on these things. I want to say thank you for all of you that have subscribed and do take the trouble to comment and listen. It is very much appreciated, and it inspires me to carry on, and I really hope that it is helping some of you in my own small little way. So please do like, comment and share, and thank you very much for listening. Peace and love.